And I'm back with another CTE video. Now, centered edge has been around for a long time, probably even in the 50s, but it's kind of like been through a lot of different stages. And if you look on the YouTube, there's probably well over 150 videos of how to play CTE, some various things. And I have actually have about 20 or 30 videos myself on the CTE, which is kind of like basic CTE. Which was, again, something that I started a while back, but it's been changed a little bit. And although the foundation of CTE, the basic premise is still the same, if you remember, the object ball is divided by 3 lines called aim lines. So you have what they call a 15-degree perception, 30-degree perception, 45-degree perception, and even a little down on both sides, which is a really 1/8 cut. That's the perception to the angle to the pocket. The ABC on the object ball always faces the cue ball. So when you're looking at the cue ball, you're going to be looking at one of these aim lines to make the shot. Most of the shots that you see out there on an average table are going to be 15 and 30 degrees perceptions. Once in a while you get a kind of a deep cut, which is 45 degrees, and then you get a very, very, very thin cut, and that's going to be the 1/8 marker. When you're placing the cue ball, or if the cue ball is behind the object ball, you basically go to center cue ball, aim at one of these aim lines, and pivot either to the left or to the right. Now, pivoting's been a kind of a situation where people say, well, why do I pivot left or pivot right? The difference is that it just makes the pocket thinner or thicker. It's something that you really have to do on the table, and you could basically work with either a pivot from coming from this side or coming from this side. And again, you still have to be about a half a tip from the center, aiming at one of those aim lines, which I'll call A, B, or C, and then you can get an idea of the standard. That's the standard CTE. Now, you may have seen some of the tapes out there, video, and there's a lot of words that you may not see or things that you've heard about. Of course, Stan has a paramount of videos. And if you're really into CTE, I recommend buying his either his videos or his book, or even his look at just some of the Truth Series videos that he has, because it really explains it, but it goes into very, very strong depth. So you'll have to be, I guess, just into it to make it work. Because you'll have things like parallax, double centers, Nissel, and a whole range of different terminology. But the idea is that at one point in time, he develops either a sight line, and an aim line, and even a what they call a Nissel line, and it's a parallax view, and so on and so forth. So it gets really intense if you're really into it. Like I said, suggest you either get his videos or buy his book. I'm going to present some of that stuff today. Hopefully, I can get it a little bit of right. Again, it's been a while since I did some of these kind of things in terms of lining up the cue ball the way it's supposed to be done. So let's get started. All right, so sometimes CTE is good because, again, you're not looking at the pocket, you're only looking at the ball. So if you got a straight up shot like this, it's a tough shot. You got to kind of measure it, and I'm looking at it this way. The right edge of the cue ball to the opposite edge of the object ball. I'm coming in, I'm looking at those lines. Right edge, center cue ball, and then pivoting over. And that's the shot. Okay, so here we have the balls lined up again. And it's a little over now, so I moved over the balls a little bit. The 9 is on the same dot. The cue ball is on this dot, but it's about almost 1.5 dots from the right side. So this would be a B. And on a B shot, which is with a 30-degree perception, you're going to go from the sight line is going to be from your middle cue ball, it's always sightlines like a middle cue ball thing. Middle cue ball to the left edge of the object ball, and the aim line is from the right edge of the object ball to center object ball. So again, it's the cue ball is center cue ball to the left edge of the object ball, and the aim line would be from the right side of the cue ball to B, right there. So I'm looking at it, I'm coming back, I'm looking at those lines, and I'm still lining up my cue ball. So I'm going to come in, again, coming in straight like this, aiming at that. So I'm coming in, and I'm going to come in, center cue ball, and then move my cue half a tip over. So let's do it again, one more time. I'm basically standing behind the cue ball. I'm looking at the lines, but let's take a look at it now. Sight line, middle cue ball to the edge. Aim line, from the edge to the B. Now, there are some other lines. Let's say a parallax line would be a quarter of a ball, like that. So you could line up all those lines together and come in. So I'm still coming up, just about lined up with those lines. I'm coming in from the left to right to center cue ball. It's kind of like I'm all lined up already. See, I'm lining up to the shot. I'm lining up to where it's almost like I'm lining up directly into that sight line. So I'm lining up, coming in, and I'm center cue ball, pivoting over, half a tip. Drop. All right, different ball. We are with the 12, almost pointing towards the corner pocket on the left side, but I want to put it in the right side. So this is considered a 45-degree angle. So I'm going to cut, the aim line I'm using right now, this is the aim line, is from the right side of the cue ball to the A spot. The sight line would be right there somewhere, but I don't know the exact measurement, but about maybe half an inch, quarter of an inch, something like that. So that's your sight line. So I'm coming in on both lines, I'm looking at those lines, and what I'm doing is I'm putting my V right where I believe that should be in terms of those lines. And I'm doing this pivoting over to the left, 1/4 of a tip. So here we go. And you're in. So like pocket, this is the same shot. I just want to really review one more time, so make sure you guys know what it is. The right side of the cue ball is an aim line, and that's going from the right side of the cue ball to A spot. That's where that's a line. It's a visual line. The sight line, if you look at the middle of the cue ball, is somewhere around there somewhere. So I don't know the exact measurement, but it's like maybe 1/4 of an inch or so. And this is something that you really have to do. Go to the pool hole, check it out, which is the sight line. It's some kind of aim lines. What I usually do is just to come back behind the cue ball, so I know I got the right position. My left leg is behind the cue ball. I'm moving over from left to right. I'm coming in, look at the sight lines, look at the aim lines, and I know kind of where I got to hit it. I'm coming in center cue ball, and then pivoting over. Pivot. All right, so here we have the 9 ball. And again, I can go over there like ghost ball and do this and all that kind of stuff. Maybe I'll be lucky to come back and hit the point. And it could work. I mean, I used a ghost ball all the time, but in CTE, I'm going to be looking at the right edge of the cue ball, aiming at the A, then coming over the sight line. In this case, is probably around there. There's also what they call parallax, which is probably in the middle somewhere. Quarter ball hit. So I'm coming in just about where my left leg is behind the cue ball. I'm coming in from a left to right sweep. I'm going to go for center cue ball and aiming just around that area, which is the sight line. Or you could do quarter ball hit. It's about the same, as long as you're in that position. So once you come in, you come in here and you just center cue ball and then pivot over. So it's again, center cue ball, pivot over. There you are. All right, so here at the 7 ball, aiming at almost directly to the corner, move it over a little bit, there you go. And I'm gonna make it to the right corner. So again, this is a nice cut. It's a 1/8 right there. Aim line is here. Aim line is right side cue ball to the 1/8. Center cue ball to the sight line right there. I'm aiming, I'm coming in, I'm looking at those lines. I'm coming in center cue ball from the left to the right, aiming at those lines. Pivoting over, pivot, again, coming in one more time. I'm aiming at those kind of lines, that's the sight line. Pivoting over. Hey, I'm playing a game and you know, the other guy just got lucky and left the cue ball, the 4 ball right in front of the pocket, so I can't go in that spot. I'm really kind of stuck. I mean, I could try to even make it in the side, that's even crazy. But the left-hand corner pocket, it's not such a bad shot. The question is what it is. This is either a 45, you could call it a 15-degree perception, no, 30, no, 45, probably. And if it's a 1/8, it would be even a deeper cut. So 1/8 maybe would be like something that you go for the side. So let's go with 45. That's a perception that I think that corner is. So I'm doing the same thing. I'm coming in from the left side of the cue ball to the 45, and your sight line's right there, okay? So let's go with that. I'm lining myself right to the aim line. That's how I like to do it, into that 45 area. I'm coming in right behind the cue ball, center to the cue ball, and then pivoting over. And that's it. All right, so we're on the left side of the table. And so let's go with, this is a basic 15 or a 30. Let's go with 15 just to see if it works. 15 perception. You're gonna go to 15 to A from the left side. And that's going to be your sight line, okay? Then you got the aim line right there. That's the center to probably about C. Try to see there. That's where it's supposed to go. So I'm coming in. I'm right behind the cue ball. So if my left leg is behind the cue ball, I'm almost going to see where the dot is. That's where I want to be. So I want to be right that dot. Right there, center. Pivot over. The good thing about CTE is you really don't have to worry about like a tough angle, because you know you don't really care where that pocket is. So if you don't care where the pocket is, all you worry about is the ball. So that's why you have to really kind of like just give you a little bit more concentration, where you can concentrate on where they hit the ball and not worry about where the pocket is. So if I wanted to play this in the side, it's like a 45. So I can go here, right there, and coming down behind the cue ball, all I gotta do is middle, pivot, and it's in. Let's see, almost there. 1/8, going to the corner. I'm behind the cue ball. I'm gonna pivot over. And there you go, finally. 45. Right there, coming in, I'm looking at that 45. My center is that aim line. I love that sight line. Coming in, pivot. All right, so I'm coming in on this 11 ball. Coming in right there at a 45-degree angle. Coming in, I'm looking at that 45. My sight line is right there. My aim line is right there. And I'm coming in, I'm looking at it right now. Coming in, pivot over. There you are. This is going to a C. All I got to do is look at that. Coming in, looking at that C. Coming in from the left side. Pivoting over. All right, basically it's the same shot, so we're gonna do the same thing. Could pick it up a little bit like that. So again, we're gonna do the same right cut. It's a 30-degree angle, a 30-degree perception. We're gonna go right edge of the cue ball to the middle of the object ball, and then the middle of the object ball to the edge, okay? But I'm coming in, so I'm looking at those two lines. I'm really looking at the center of the cue ball to that edge. That's my take on that thing. I'm looking at the center of the cue ball to the left edge of the object ball. So I'm lining up that thing. Now, when you come in, it's almost like you're doing a quarter of a ball. So you come in, keep it like that, coming in. All you do is center cue ball, pivot over, and that's it. Let's try one more. Same thing. Basically the same shot. I'm coming in, right edge to the center, aim line, sight line, edge, middle of the cue ball to the left edge of the object ball. So I'm lining up those shots. I'm really looking at that middle cue ball to the edge. So I'm lining it up. I'm coming in. I'm not even looking at the pocket. I don't even care where that pocket is. But I'm lining up, center cue ball, and then pivoting over. Okay, so here's the situation. Again, this is, I'm going back to I guess the new version of CTE, which is a little bit different, because you're using aim lines, you're using sight lines, you may be using a quarter ball, which is they call parallax, and all kind of stuff. I'm getting used to it myself. It's new to me, but the basic CTE is always the same, so there's not that much difference. In basic CTE, I used to just aim for the ball where it's supposed to go, and everything worked out fine. But I like to try different things as well. So let's try this kind of new concept and see where it goes. In this particular case, it's a 15-degree cut. So if you wanted to start with this, it would probably be somewhere in the neighborhood of a, say a 15-degree cut would be like this. So there's your 15 degrees to this point. And then the center of the cue ball would be around there. So what you do is when you must put your left leg, I like to do the ball. See, the balls are parallel to you like that. Put your left leg behind the cue ball. And all you really have to do is just line yourself up. And if you line yourself correctly, just like this, lining up straight, you know the lines, you've seen the lines where you gotta go. All you have to do is come in straight from the center of the cue ball and just pivot over slightly, and you're in. So let's do that again. Now we go back to where we were before. Again, the object ball is facing you, A, B, and C. A, B, C, okay? And that never changes no matter where the ball is. It's always going to face you A, B, and C, even though the cut may be different, but in other words, perception could change, but not the A, B, and C. So if I say A, B, and C, it's what's facing me, and you can look at that. So in this case, the edge of the ball is going to C, right there. And the middle of the ball would be going just about to A, right there. So I'm looking at it, but I'm stepping in behind the cue ball, and I'm visualizing those lines. So I see the edge going to the edge of the cue ball, going to C, and all I got to do is come down, put my forefingers right behind my V, or what you call a V, is right behind the object ball, and all I'm doing is it's pivoting a little bit. All right, so here's a left cut. So it's a little bit different, of course, and you're going to go edge to A, in this case. And then you're going to go middle to C. So edge to A, middle to C. Now, I'm lined up almost parallel to these balls. My left leg is behind the cue ball. All I'm doing right now is dropping down. My V is right behind the cue ball, and all I'm doing is center, pick it over a little bit. Here's this very similar shot. Let's move it over a little bit. It's about the same thing. I don't think it's going to change too much. Again, if the angle is much different, let's say we're doing this, then it's a different story. Then you're aiming, let's say, a 45-degree angle, and that's a whole different story. We have to back it up a little bit, and then it's pretty much like almost like a one-shot kind of thing. But we'll go over that as well. Anyway, here's the shot. This is again, this would be a 15-degree perception. You could even say 30. It's probably not that much difference. Most of the shots you're going to see are, in an average game are going to be 15 to 30 because unless it's like you're doing very deep cuts, and you shouldn't be doing that, to be honest. All right, so let's go with it. Again, this is edge to A, and then you go middle to C. So, and this is what you got to practice with. Now you're coming down again. Cue ball, these balls are almost parallel to you. See, they're almost parallel to you. You're coming down right in the middle of the cue ball. All you're doing is pivoting over a little bit. That's it.